what to watch. Avatar Last Airbender? No, just rewatched that last week. Let's see, Inuyasha? No, just rewatched that last week as well. Oh. Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Animated movie. That's probably a lot like all the others. Nope. Way better. Batman The Dark Knight Returns is an animated movie that was originally split into two parts and based off the highly successful graphic novel comic book series called The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. I love this movie. I can't even tell you. No, rephrase. I shouldn't tell you how many times I have watched this movie. Twice. This week. Alone. Oh boy! So Batman The Dark Knight Returns circles around the happenings of 60-year-old plus Bruce Wayne, who hasn't been the Batman in 10 years. Dude be old. Crime is at an all-time high with the rise of a gang of kids calling themselves the Mutants. Something snaps eventually within Bruce to force him out of his retirement as the Batman and take back his city. Now let me start off with, this is not your typical Adam West or old school gee willikers Batman kind of Batman. No. This is a Batman for a mature, older audience who wants to see a darker Batman. I said this movie is based off of the graphic novel comic book, but I feel like based off of is a really loose term. See, I managed to snag the deluxe edition of this movie on DVD and got 2 discs worth of special bonus features. Lots of featurettes, commentaries, and even a couple of episodes from the original animated Batman cartoon series, which I grew up with and felt I was a little too giddy about when I realized I had those episodes and rewatched them. Like, I was laughing hysterically at the nostalgia factor. It's great. As well as a couple of pages from the graphic novel as a digital copy. And from what I could gather from watching all the bonus features, which were hours worth by the way, and reading the digital copies, this movie was nearly panel for panel, word for word, an exact recreation of the graphic novel. Some things were changed, obviously. The director of the film did say in one of the featurettes that I watched that if there were some parts of the comic that were redone in other cartoons or animations, he changed them so that it wouldn't become super repetitive to people who have watched all those things before. Something I thought they did real well was having all of the different villains of the Batman universe in this movie. Two-Face, Humpty Dumpty, the Joker, the Mutants. They had all of these villains, but none of them ever felt like they were stepping on one another or fighting for screen and story time, unlike Amazing Spider-Man 2. Sorry, Spidey. Love ya. You could almost split this 2-part movie into even smaller parts. Two-Face is part 1, then he leaves, he's done, never seen again. The Mutants is part 2, then he beats them and they're over with. They kind of come back, but they're not the focus anymore. Part 3 is the Joker, and then Batman puts his sorry ass to rest and then he's done with. Bye Joker, done. And then part 4 is the big fight with Superman at the end, which I'm guessing is how they split the 4 comic books. So it was really well structured. Something else I love about this Batman, and there are a lot of things, is how big he is. And I mean like his size. Like, look at this guy. He is huge. Batman has always been a tall character, but to have one this broad and bulky, but not fat, but just muscular, and the dude's just big, alright? He's just boom, there he is. He's a big guy. He's like the Hulk of Batmans. I especially love this shot in the movie with him and the new Robin, who, yes, is a girl. She nearly falls to her death and clings onto Batman for dear life. And I just love the contrast between how big big Batman is and how tiny Robin is in comparison. And that's kind of a theme they actually have going on with this whole movie. How Batman is huge and nearly untouchable and can't be taken down. But he's also old and needs that young person in Robin to get him back in touch with the world that he's more or less chosen to ignore for the past 10 years. I also love Alfred. He's such a sarcastic bastard and I love it. I feel like that's something a lot of the Alfreds in the cartoons had, but not as much in the live actions, the sarcasm part of him. At least from what I remember. I haven't seen the new Batman vs. Superman. From what trailers I did see, it seemed like Alfred was a little bit more sarcastic, but not as much as this.
If it's suicide you're after, I have an old family recipe. It's slow and painful. You'd like it. It's Commissioner Gordon. No doubt calling for details on the funeral. I'm still the prime beneficiary in your will, aren't I?
After watching this movie X number of times, you do see that every time you watch it, new ideas or inner meanings seem to pop up throughout the whole movie. One of them being the relationship between Batman and Joker. Now, Batman and Joker are probably actually my favorite hero-villain duo. It's an interesting relationship that the two have that people and writers have been playing with for years. Writers of superhero comics or stories say that to have a good hero, you have to have an even better villain. They have to complement one another. Joker's whole game with Batman is that, and something he admits in this movie, is that he wants Batman to lose control. Kill. Go against his beliefs and morals. Joker is all about those mind games with Batman. How to put him into situations where he has to drop his codes and sink to Joker's level. Or make Batman admit that he's no better than Joker, a murdering, psychotic, unstable lunatic. It was something they did very well in showcasing in The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger as Joker. I think that was Heath Ledger. And lastly, the fight with Superman. This is actually why I never rushed to the movie theater to go and see the Superman vs. Batman, Batman vs. Superman movie that came out a couple of months ago. Aside from the fact that people have called it the worst DC movie in years. But since I've seen this movie and the fight between the two, which I'm assuming from what I've seen is what they based the movie off of, was the graphic novel fight between Batman and Superman, hence the whole thing, I feel like I've already seen the movie, because it was also just an awesome fight in the movie. It was well drawn, action-packed, smooth transitions from place to place, and everything that happened made sense. And it didn't get bogged down with talking and blah 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 blah. It was just fight, 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 which I heard is what happened a lot in the Batman vs. Superman movie, is the fight itself was 3 minutes long and the rest of it was just talking. So, to wrap this up, if you're a Batman fan and you're looking for a more mature, dark, badass, battering in people's eyes, blood splattering kind of Batman, you gotta watch this movie. I'd also love to get my hands on the graphic novel, because from the pages I saw in my digital copy, it was beautifully colored. So thank you guys so much for watching my review rant on Batman The Dark Knight Returns. Seriously, I can't stress enough, watch this movie. It is so good. I would force everyone to watch it if I could, but apparently that'd be kidnapping or something, I don't know. Sneak peek to next week is actually more Batman. I just finished playing Batman Arkham Asylum, the game. It was really good. I have some thoughts on it, so I'll be sharing that with you guys next week. So be sure to check in on Tuesdays when my brother Andrew usually uploads and Fridays when I, Sarah, usually upload. Until then, geek on!